Oh, so here we are again. I am going to try and continue to rank the years of Phish. In a previous video, I was able to bust through a top four somewhat easily. Got into a bottom three fairly easily. The top four were 1994, 97, 93, and 1995, which I believe for the most part, people agreed with. Not everyone, and not necessarily in that order, but 94, 97, 93, 95 seems like a solid top four of the years of Phish. Then we got to the bottom three, 2004, 2009, 2010. I guess opinions could vary. For me, those were fairly easily also. Now, 5 through 10 were a little tougher. And now, once I settled on 5 through 10, I feel like 5, 6, and 7 separated themselves through 8, 9, and 10. And I'm still not working towards the bottom of the list. And so, I guess we should just get right to this. Number 5 on the list, like I said, 5, 6, and 7 did separate themselves. But then 5, 6, and 7, it was kind of tough to separate these. However, number 5 on the list, 1998. All right, calm down, everybody. Okay, all right. So why was it 1998? Well, the Island Tour, the New Year's Eve run, the Lemon Wheel, the Dark Side of the Moon show, Halloween that year. Obviously, Halloween, a lot of years is going to be a big deal, The Riverport Gin, the recent Star Lake show that I listened to. I said, look, if this was your favorite show of 98, there wouldn't be much of an argument. But also, if that was like your 20th favorite show of 1998, you wouldn't get much of an argument from me. So 1998 was just stacked with great shows. It had all the big stuff that you would want. New Year's Eve, festival, Halloween, like an all-time song mixed in there, just Llama Llama to boot, So 1998 rounding out the top 5. So where do we go next? We went the following year, 1999. Big Cypress alone. You feel like Big Cypress alone possibly could have put it in the top years of Phish. And the Pyramid Show has always been one of my favorite shows. Even before we had a nice soundboard release, I felt like that was one of my all-time favorite shows. December of 1999, even leading up to Big Cypress. The December 30th show, the December 31st show, obviously, at Big Cypress was, for a lot of people, the ultimate Phish show. It was such an amazing show. Phish walked off stage, and they were thinking, wow, maybe we should call it quits. We're never going to top that. So if you had that Polaris that year, my first show, actually, I was a total chomper. Wasn't fully on board yet somehow, even after that show. So 1999 has to get into the mix. It's amazing that there was a time when 1999 was not a fan favorite year. And so what is number 7? It's going to be 1996. The Clifford Ball, kind of a similar argument as other years. It had a big Halloween show, the Rupp Arena show that year, legendary. Red Rocks that year, legendary. And then obviously Clifford Ball, the first of many festivals, still, maybe my favorite Clifford Ball. And maybe there's some, we still don't even have the soundboard of Big Cypress, but yet we have a DVD box set release video of the Clifford Ball. My favorite festival are probably, if I'm ranking festivals, I think I have the Clifford Ball numero uno. But it does fall behind, this is pre-Talking Heads Halloween a lot of the year. Took them until really 97, 98, 99 to develop just a whole new ball of wax. There was many songs, a new style, and that put these years above the early 90 years. So 98, 99, and 96. Numbers 5, 6, and 7. So now we have a top 7 of 94, 97, 93, 95, 98, 99, and 96. You're seeing a theme here. The top 7 years are basically, or not basically, they are all the 1990s. 90, 91, and 92 are still missing. Coming in at number 8. This is a tough one. This one's even right now, like before I made this video, as I was putting the list in order, I several times I thought I had a top 10 complete. I would argue with myself. As I'm about to say this now, I'm wondering, is this right? I am going to have 2015 as the 8th best year of Phish, above 1990, 1991, 1992 even. In 2015, look, I went to some shows that year. I was at Blossom that year, just an absolutely amazing show. Got stubbed down by a Canadian dude. It turns out, though, I didn't know I was getting stubbed down by chompers. One of the dudes in the group told me he was chasing Loving Cup. Canadian fella. I knew it. I sensed I was with Chomper. I even got sucked in. I got sucked into Chomper activity that night. I took a second set selfie, flung a glow stick, 2015 was a wild year, okay? So it's coming in at number 8 for me. Magnaball, an amazing festival. Then we had, let's see, Dick's was a bit of a letdown that year. The final year of Dick's was amazing that year, but I will say the summer was so chaotic and great that they were sending out memos telling people not to come to Dick's unless you had a ticket. Like they knew that things had reached a fever pitch and people were just going to show up at Dick's and just hope to get a ticket. They had high expectations, and they were like, whoa, back off. Don't come to Dick's unless you have a ticket, And so that's how great the summer was. You also had the 30th that year. I like the Hourglass New Year's Eve that year. I don't know, possibly a bit controversial. This whole 2015 being in my top 15 could be controversial. If you're like a 1990 guy, though, if you're like, dude, you can't have 2015 over any of the years in the 90s. Dude, they played Bouncing Around the Room 91 times in 1990. If we get complaints about repeats now, imagine that. And they played a lot of shows, obviously, but, they just didn't have the amount of songs yet. The jamming wasn't there yet. They hadn't had that whole, the help they got on Farmhouse and accompanied with the Talking Heads Halloween show in 96. Those late 90 years, and even into some post-hiatus year. So 2015, I'm sticking with it. Fist on the table, was an outstanding year. Not only so great, it's the 8th greatest year of the band. Number 9, 1992, sneaking in there, coming off like a bit of, it's like the 80s, they 88 and 89, while great years, no doubt. Again, they just didn't have the arsenal quite yet, or the jamming and all that. But then 1990, it seemed like maybe they had outgrown themselves a little bit. They had introduced some new music. And so 90 and 91, there was a bit of a transition there. I feel like they were refiguring out exactly what are we, where are we going. And, don't get me wrong, a lot of great stuff there. But then 92, out of those first 4 years, 90, 91, 92, that's 3 years, actually. Believe it or not. And then, hey, you thought 2 years, calm down. Then it was, so 92, they had kind of figured everything out for sure. 93, even better. But 1992, like, for example, a recent show I listened to, just a random show from 1992 in Providence, or 93, 92, I'm sorry. And Providence, 92. There's a Run Like an Antelope in there that was just incredible. If they played something like that now, people would just completely lose their mind. And this was just some show in 1992, And then the problems, though, that they spent a lot of time on Horde Fest, opening for Santana. And they also went over to Europe with the Violent Femmes for a few shows. So 92, while the playing was just outstanding, they were starting to, there was still a little bit of improvising and some jamming, lots of antics, big stuff. That it was a big part of what Phish was all about, in those early years. So there were some things that held them back in 92. 92 probably would have been much higher on the list if it wasn't for just like one of the Santana shows was like a 35-minute set, Some nights they'd play 5 songs. It would be like Poor Heart, Llama, Squirming Coil, Runaway Jim, Foam or something, Hey, look, that's a solid 5 songs, but then that's it. That's all you get. They left stage. So it's tough to put 92 above a year that had Magnaball for me. So 1992 is number 9, probably losing people at this point, so we're going to stop at number 10. 2017, the Baker's Dozen, I feel is one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive thing that they have done post-hiatus, really, certainly, and more recent times. And also, they came to Dayton that year, maybe a little biased. They had a lot of fun at that Dayton show at the Nutter Center. Highly rated show, though, really. One of the northerly shows that year. Not a lot of touring, I will say. If I was just complaining about 92 having all those Horde and Santana shows, well, this year had a lot of nothing. You had the residency, essentially, at Madison Square Garden in the summer. making it the Baker's Dozen, the 13 shows spread out over the months of July and August. You also had, a really strong Dayton show, really strong show in Chicago. December 30th, like a lot of years, the New Year's run, when they went back to the Garden. There was, but the Baker's Dozen, just like Big Cypress and Magnaball, the Halloween shows. Big Cypress will go down in Phish history, obviously, as like a major event, something that you just can't ignore. And for that fact, 2017 makes it into my top 10 years of Phish. And there were some bad shows, but look, there was bad shows in 90 and 91 as well. If people complained about repeats now, you got a little less of this in a year like 2015. Stronger covers on board by now. See, look, I'm arguing against the 90, and like I can already hear, if anybody watches this and makes it this far, I hear them arguing for 90 and 91. 92 should have been above 17. It was. All right, that was me arguing with me. I had 17 above it originally. All right. So that rounds out our top 10. 98, 99, 96, 15, 92, and 17 coming in at number 10. What was number 11, you ask? What was right outside the top 10, F Zappa 20, Was it 2021? Was it 1991? Was it 1988? 2024? It's a little too soon. Hold on the 2024 talk just yet. 2021, maybe people, including myself, are just way too excited for them to be back, So now we officially have a top 10, 94, 97, 93, 95, 98. That's your top 5. The next 5, 99, 96, 2015, 92, and 2017, rounding out your top 10. I wish I had some cool stuff to put on the screen and some graphics to show you. Maybe I'll list it down below. You can look in the description. Be like, oh, okay, now I can see it. I can visualize it. It's hard to follow you, F Zappa 20. Thank you for watching. Nico, you're the reason. Thanks for putting me through all this, buddy. All right, I'm out of here. Boom. You guys have a good evening. I might premiere this and we can chat about it. It's late, though. Concerned, man. Am I going to go public with this? 2015 and 17 cracked my top 10. It's all right. I will. Boom. Love you guys. Go Phish. One more Go Eagles, too.